What inspired Gone? Our thriller film was inspired by The Usual Suspects and how the film generated an enigma. Therefore, our restricted narration was used in a similar way to create the same effect, however with a different narrative. In our thriller opening, we used thriller conventions in a way to manipulate spectators. This was created through the use of mise-en-scene, sound, editing and camera work, which all contributed to generate restricted narration.
I'm going to clearly evaluate the areas of our thriller opening Gone. I'm going to mention some of the things I thought went well and some of the things that I thought didn't go so well.
Was our shooting material appropriate to the task?
During the shooting of our film, we made sure the material was suitable and appropriate for the genre of the thriller opening. Our establishing shot, which was an extreme long shot, represented realism and iconography of the everyday. We chose this setting for the establishing shot so spectators could recognise that the film of the thriller opening was set in our present day, making it more real for them to feel more involved and engaged with the narrative. However, some shots in our thriller opening were, I reckon, a bit too long. For example, the scene where we were parking the car, so where we got an aerial shot of Addie driving her car into her house, we thought, once we watched it back, we thought maybe that was more of a filler of time rather than contributing to any, interesting narrative.
We use certain controlled camera techniques at appropriate times. For example, when shooting the establishing shot, we made sure to use a tripod. This then creates a smooth shot, generating a still and eerie atmosphere appropriate to the task set. We also used handheld camera work in scenes, which were appropriate to generate enigma and restricted narration. For example, we used an over-the-shoulder shot to build intensity. We did this as it was in correlation to our antagonist during the scene as he poisons our protagonist Addie. Our use of close-ups were to emphasise facial expressions, to show Addie's fear. We used many drone shots at the end of the sequence. This gave really good evidence of control.
This is a shot which involves a green screen. There's two cameras being used, including a GoPro and Nathan filming behind the car.
I believe that we could have improved certain shots by using a tripod. For example, in the car with Addie, if we had rigged the camera to a window, this would have made the shot much smoother and steadier, making it easier for the green screen to be edited. Attention to framing and variety of shot sizes in Gone.
I personally feel that our variety of shot sizes and our framing was thoroughly planned in Gone. This is because we made sure that each facial expression, each part of body language that we wanted to include in our film was captured in a way that revealed emotion, which we want spectators to notice and feel themselves, to feel more engaged with the story. So this is why we thought we were very well planned with our structure, framing and variety of shot sizes. In the car scene we used a lot of variety of different shot sizes and angles. This was to allow spectators to engage with the dialogue as it was vital as part of the narrative. One of the shots we used, which was an over-the-shoulder shot of Marcus, this helped engage spectators and for them to recognise that he was an antagonist. And again, with the drone shots, the aerial shots, we found that this gave it a much more interesting outlook on the whole narrative, really. Instead of just using the normal close-ups, the normal long shots, high angle, low angle, we really thought we'd really push it and go up there with the aerial shots just to gather a whole different perspective. However, in the framing we would have probably liked to include some more close-ups in scenes with Marcus, just to engage some more emotions from him, but we didn't really want to at the same time, because that was the whole part of the restricted narration and keeping the enigma there in the story.
Did we pay close attention to mise-en-scene? As a team, we paid close attention to mise-en-scene as this was important to implement the thriller conventions that we applied. For example, our characters, Addie and Marcus, were costumed in a specific way, such as Addie was dressed smartly to connote middle-class young woman, and Marcus was dressed in black with a jumper connoting a young male who has addictions.
Throughout our thriller opening, we used a variety of props to really contribute to the effect of realism in Thriller. Therefore, using these props really helped spectators have a connection with everyday life, making it feel like this story could happen to them, which creates emotions of fear and intensity. However, we did cut out a few props in certain scenes. For example, the kitchen scene when Addie walks into the house, we didn't use as many scenes. We didn't use as many props. This was because we really wanted to focus on her facial expressions and her body language, just so spectators can really understand what we wanted them to focus on at the time. However, if we were to improve more elements of our mise-en-scene, then I reckon that we would probably have gone further with our makeup. We could have improved that because I think we were quite relaxed with that. We mainly focused on props and setting and the costumes. So if we were to maybe enhance the makeup a bit more, then that would maybe have brought across more of a professional outcome.
Editing so that meaning is apparent to the viewer. The way in which we edited our film was relevant to our thriller conventions. For example, our editing was appropriate to implement the use of enigma and restricted narration. This means that our intense scenes, cuts would have been at a higher frequency. This can be contrasted with the car scene where cuts are at a very low frequency. However, gradually it builds non-diegetic sound, which crescendos to emphasise Addie and Marcus's argument. We made a mistake during editing that we picked up after completing. In a scene with our antagonist, we made the mistake of not blurring one of the close-ups to match every other blurred shot. This was to create restricted narrations, therefore it made editing look slightly unprofessional at that point. The construction of the narrative, we made sure to allow spectators to understand. For example, when Marcus poisons Addie, we make sure that the spectators see the preparation of the murder about to happen.
An element we are most proud of in Gone would be the choice of creating a graphic match transition between the hot tub and then the preparation of the murder scene. This linked two scenes together, which were then formed into a transition, which made it very effective for the spectators and made it just very visually interesting. This is a video of when we merged them two together to make a graphic match, which kind of created a circular shape which forms a graphic match. One thing I believe that we could have improved in the thriller opening to do with effects would be the green screen, as we used a green screen for the car scene.
I'm sorry, I have no idea what it's like for you. Shit!
What's going on?
Fuck.
Addie?
Nothing, don't worry. Marcus, I can't deal with this any longer, okay? I know you're suffering, but maybe I am too.
I personally feel pretty pleased with the music and sound effects that we used for the non-diegetic and diegetic music. I'm really pleased that one part of our thriller opening was the part before the actual murder scene where Marcus is preparing the poison to poison Addie in the hot tub. The non-diegetic music that started to build and crescendo really made such a difference for the spectators. Unfortunately, some of our separately recorded dialogue was too muffled to use on top of the moving image, which resulted in not really equal levels of sound from the dialogue.